Welcome back to the tartan sofa. You know what that means? It's going to be another gear review. Right, without further ado, let's get on with it. Today we are reviewing another eBay purchase. It is the backpacking tent outdoor camping hike sleeping bag tent, single person tent L7R3. Basically that. It's basically a hooped bivvy of sorts. It's quite cheap. It's only about 40 quid. So I'm not expecting great things of it, but we'll see. Basically, I was looking for something to take backpacking with me. I plan to do some hiking, local trails, Boudica Way being one, and it may involve an overnight camp, possibly either a stealth camp or through a pre-arranged campsite of some sort along route. So rather than carry the big tent that I've got, which is quite big, quite bulky, quite heavy, let's go for something nice and light. So basically the idea of this is you're going to use it as a tartan bivvy setup. That there will be set up on the ground as the bivvy, and I've got a lightweight basher which I can put in the backpack as well. That will be set up over the top of it. Basically, in case it rains, it will keep the bulk of the rain off, hopefully, because I know these cheap ones, they aren't brilliantly waterproof. So so I know these cheap ones aren't fantastically waterproof. I've had experience before with cheap tents. They really are about as waterproof as a tea bag. So the bivvy will keep the worst of the rain off, or hopefully the sun. You never know with our weather at the moment. That's actually looking quite nice out there. As you can see, there's the sun shining. Right, anyway, let's get this put up outside and see what it's like. Also trying a different microphone configuration today because the built-in microphone on the iPhone that I filmed these on has started to give up the ghost. So hopefully this one works better. Usual bit of green ribbon. Let's have a look. So this is the tent itself. Let's look at the fabric. Let's look at the ribbon, which is a nice bit of ripstop fabric. You can see the crisscross pattern on it. It's just a shame the tent's not made from the same material. That is just... yeah, that's just... no ripstop at all in it. But on the plus side, looks reasonably well made. Ground sheet's a decent thickness without being too thick and bulky. So put them out in our secluded little spot here. It's going to be snug. That is going to be snug. We won't bore you with all the details of pegging it down and what, you know the procedure with these things, so come back in a minute. Right, so there she is in all her glory. You can see. Doesn't look too bad. I've had to make a couple of little modifications. Well, the main modification being the guy ropes. One's provided. You'll see. Horrible, thin, nasty red cord. That is awful. Get rid of it. So we've now got lovely green, decent thickness paracord. So that pulls out all four corners. It pulls it all taut. Slight concern about the poles, the hooped poles on it. I was expecting them to be shock corded, either fiberglass or carbon fibre. They're not. They're metal. They're preformed, pre-curved metal, which again, they're shock corded and they clip together in much the same way, but I can envisage them getting bent in a strong wind and being a bit of a bugger to straighten them out again. But I don't know. It might be my fears are unfounded, but it's just a worry. Yeah, so that's it so far. We'll have a look at the inside in a second. It's pretty much as you'd expect. The panel at the end, I'd expect that to have a vent in it to get a through flow of air through the whole tent. Doesn't have one. It's solid. That's going to be a pain. That's going to be an issue because you've got obviously this fabric here, which is designed to be waterproof, obviously. Now you've got a person sleeping in here overnight. They're going to be breathing out warm, damp air. That is going to get cold overnight, that fabric. That warm, damp air is going to condense, and you're going to get a hell of a problem with condensation. Yeah, everything's going to get damp. We'll see. We'll have to see. The only way is to actually try it in the field. Ground sheet material is quite nice. It's woven fabric, plasticized by the feel of it. That looks as though it's going to be quite waterproof, at least from the underside. Hopefully, that's where you want it to be. The only issue again was with the condensation. If it's going to be waterproof this side, the water's going to be prevented from coming up. It's also going to be prevented from draining away. So any moisture that collects inside here is going to pool. So yeah, that's going to have to be watched. Like I said, a field test will prove me right or wrong on that one. So moving on. The poles we've already mentioned. Pegs as well. Those. Not greatly impressed with them. They're very thin, very flimsy. I did manage to bend a couple getting them in. So yeah, I think we'll invest in a better set of pegs. The tent does come with a bug sheet, bug mesh. That zips tight. There we go. It's a nice touch. So you can have the outer flap open, keep the bugs out. Also give yourself a bit of ventilation. Also incorporated, you'll see there's a mesh thing there because you've got a vent here as well. So, oh, excuse my bad camera work again. Really need to employ a cameraman. So, yeah. It's not brilliant. But I suppose it'll stop you suffocating. But you'll probably drown in the condensation. Right, the other bit of gear we're reviewing is the Hewolf light sleeping mat. It weighs 540 grams. Was another eBay bargain, £10.99. It's okay, not as light and as compact as some, but it's not bulky, let's put it that way. So we'll get this inflated and have a look. Okay, so right, that's the sleep mat inflated. And yeah, it's not bad. The material's a bit crunkly, but yeah, what do you expect for £10.99? I'm sure it does the job. Right, pop in there and have a look. One word of warning, don't do as I do, don't go out and buy one of these thinking it's self-contained. It's not. This was listed as a self-charging one. It isn't. It doesn't have a battery in it. You have to power it via a separate power pack. I mean, it does the job. It's an air pump, you know, it pumps air, but really, there are a lot better ones out there. So, yeah, the HT426 avoid, just avoid. They're not brilliant. Right, this is not going to be in any way dignified. Oh, I feel like a caterpillar. Yeah, it's yeah, it's a bit snug. It's a bit very snug. We've got headroom at the end there. It is what it is, basically. But yeah, you see, if you're turning over in the night, you can see very well with the mesh screen in the way. You can't turn over without touching the sides, really. So any condensation is going to be straight onto your sleeping bag. It's better than nothing. That'll certainly keep you warm. Yeah. Bring you inside for a look. Right, so yeah, it's snug. Yeah, that's going to get condensation. I can just see it happening. But that's a little impromptu stealth camp, I suppose it's useful. Yeah, I'd be inclined to sleep with this undone, definitely. Right, let's turn around. Let's see what it's like with the front flap all zipped up. Right, that's the outer zipping up. Let's just do the mesh one up again. So there we go. So yeah, it's, like I say, it's snug, on the verge of claustrophobic. I'm glad I didn't spend a great deal more on this. Now I've got the thing out and put up. Yeah, I'm not sure about spending the night in this. It is very claustrophobic. Geez. On the plus side, this Hewolf sleeping mat is very comfy. This is lovely. So, yeah. It's got a nice sort of built-in pillow bit at the end, which is nice. Decent valves on them as well. Decent quality valve. Yeah. Not bad at all. Right. Let's get on with actually reviewing this. So, right. As you can see, use the microphone. I've just put it there because it's in the way. It seems alright. Taped seams all the way around, which is nice. Should keep the moisture out. There we go. Keep the condensation in. Into there. Stitching looks alright. It's good. Not showing daylight through any of it, which is good. I've had cheap tents like this that actually show daylight through, and when it comes to rain, they allow the water in. So yeah, it's well made. Yeah, nice material on that ground sheet. That's really, really good. Like that. Get a bit of air through the vent. Even in the shade, with everything all zipped up. Yeah, I'm getting quite warm in here, so yeah, it's certainly be cosy at night. Not bad. I suppose the next thing to do is to give it a nighttime test. So you excuse the old fella in the foreground there, he's come out to see what's going on. So you can see the arrangement anyway. So the Bivi-tent, whatever you call it, the little tunnel tent, that's all set up. You got a lightweight DPM basher over the top, a couple of trekking poles to keep it elevated up over. Gives a bit of shade as well as rain protection. And yeah, that's pretty much it really. That's the setup. So all we've got to do is spend a night under there. Just see how bad the condensation is, if at all. I can envisage there being condensation in there. It's just a matter of how bad and how damp everything's going to get. But until we try it, we don't know. So yeah, let's give it a crack. Good night. So very impressed with the Hewolf sleeping pad. Yeah, really comfortable, very lightweight, good, durable looking thing. Yeah, very pleased with that. So the Bivi, yeah, does the job. It's cheap, but it's cheerful. It's good. Overall impressions, but yeah, I'm pleased with that. Especially with this configuration. Probably be better with the DD 3x3 tarp, but trouble is the one I've got. I've not got the super light one. I've just got the standard DD tarp, which is quite a heavy thing. So yeah, I may invest in a super light. But yeah, it's the job. Can't wait to get out and try it for real. Get this thing deflated. Quick look at it first. It's all nicely welded. Looks like a sort of ripstop type fabric. Single valve, give you a better look at the valve. Oh. Yeah, not bad, does the job. We'll just deflate it. Yeah, simple as that. Okay, so I brought the conclusion indoors. It's getting pretty warm out there. It's going to be the hottest weekend of the year so far. Talking about temperatures 29, possibly 30 degrees. So yeah, let's get in the shade and do this. So, right. Excuse the squeaky stool. That is not me, I promise you. The tunnel tent. That's what that was what we were going to get onto. That was it. The tunnel tent, hooped bivvy, whatever you want to call it. 40 quid. I think it was listed 46 quid. I did the eBay trick of sticking it in my basket for a week, maybe a little bit more. And the seller contacted me, making me an offer. I could get it for 39. So gladly I took the offer and went and picked it up for 39 quid. Yeah, it's not bad. Honestly, it's not bad. The material it's made of is quite a reasonable material. It's not too bad a quality. The waterproofing looks really good, judging by the amount of condensation that was on the inside. But again, yeah, we all know that's not a true test, but it certainly held water on the inside all right. The seams and everything, where the panels are joined together and it's all stitched, you've got waterproof tape all on the seams, really nicely applied, thoroughly applied. It looks really good. There doesn't seem to be any gaps or any holes anywhere where the stitching's pulled or whatnot. Sometimes you get with the cheap tents, when you put them up and get them taut, you'll find the material, when it pulls, it starts to pull the stitching and you end up with gaps, and it starts to tear the fabric, and that's where it lets water in. None of that with this one. Really good little piece of kit. I was a little surprised with the poles. They're aluminium poles. They're obviously like the fiberglass or carbon fiber ones that you get normally, but they got shock cord all the way through, so they just click together, and they're pre-formed into the curve, which you then slip through the sleeve on the outside, bung it into the two little eyelets on the peg out points, and yeah, that's how that works. But they seem to do the job. They look strong enough. So yeah, time will tell with that one. The one bit of kit that really did impress me the most was the Hewolf sleeping mat. What can I say? It's nice, it's light. When you look at something like a Thermarest, it's probably not up there with a Thermarest, but there again, a Thermarest is about 160, 180 quid, something like that. This was a tenth of the price, 15 quid. May even been less than that, actually. I'll have to look on the listing and find out, because I think I might have picked it up for less than that. But even so, one of the best night's sleep I've had. I don't normally get on with sleep mats or inflatable mattresses, especially the cheaper ones. I find them very uncomfortable. That, no problems. I think it must be because of the multi-cell construction, and it gives you, it's more like a sort of, what do you call it, a pocket sprung sort of effort. But yeah, really good night's kip on that. It's made from decent material as well. The fabric they make it out of, really nicely made. All the sections all nicely welded. Don't seem to be any issues there at all. Doesn't look like there's any weak spots in the welding at all. So all in all, that is a thoroughly, I rate that 10 out of 10 bit of kit. I'll put the listing up on screen for you, just so you can see, you know, if you want to buy one and make your own mind up. But yeah, I thoroughly recommend that. Lightweight basher we know about. I've used that before. I used it on the Thetford Forest camp that I did quite a while back when I did a short video on that one. I've had hammock camps out in the back garden with it. I just used it just today as well, obviously with the Bivi-tent. Lovely thing. Nice and lightweight. Again, that was dirt cheap. I think that was about 15, 20 quid. Well worth the money. I would advise buying a roll of this stuff, paracord, so you can make your own guy lines up and whatnot. Well worth doing, because what a roll of paracord will cost you, it's far less and will give you far more guy lines than if you were to buy them as a set or individually. So yeah, well worth doing. So that's that. That I've not reviewed this. I've had it for quite a long while now, sort of must be nearly a year. Yeah, it's just a cheap kneeling pad that slips into a pocket of the rucksack, and just put it to kneel on, just saves your knees and stops you getting your trousers grubby. Useful little thing. So yeah, So yeah, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope to get out and start enjoying the gear for real. Actually getting out and doing some camps. I want to do some hikes. There's a couple of local footpaths, a couple of local long distance footpaths that I want to do. Bung us a like if you've enjoyed the video. I hope you have. I know it's not been a long one. It's just been a bit of a gear review. I know a lot of you train heads don't like this sort of stuff, but it's what I like. And I'm doing it for me, basically, and for those that might be interested. Yeah, so if you are interested and enjoy this sort of stuff, subscribe if you haven't already done so. Yeah, stick a comment in the comment section below. Give some ideas. If there's some places you'd like to see me visit, places you'd like to see me take Iceni to, or if you run a miniature railway and it's not too far away and you've got an event coming on, you want a visiting loco, give us a holler. Stick a comment in the comment section. You fancy coming out wild camping with us? It's always nice meeting new people with same interests, and things like wild camps and whatnot. Always better if there's two of you. Especially wild camping and whatnot. You don't know who's going to turn up, but if it's somebody you can trust who's with you, two of you people are less likely to give you any bother. So yeah, give us a comment again in the comment section, and yeah, that's it. Till the next video, I'll bid you all farewell. Farewell.